Mankind looked up to the skies and wondered if we are alone in this universe. Many miraculous things have been spotted all over the world, reported by our militaries, and sparked great debates amongst ourselves. I am here to tell you that, ladies and gentlemen, people of Earth, brothers and sisters of all races, all countries, that we are not alone. We have never been alone. That some higher power has sought to spread the gift of life throughout the universe and beyond all comprehension. It is in these times we must learn to love one another. We must not share hate, but joy. We must not inhibit, but we must grow. These beings are our friends. They are our family. They want to help us become better, to see the true potential of mankind. And for maybe one day, we will join them in their voyage to help other beings from other star systems. As shocking as this news may be, it is nothing new. Our governments of the world have known for quite some time that we are not alone in this universe, and we have had contact for many of years, slowly preparing the American public and the publics of the world for such a revelation. We are not alone, and we are about to embark on the greatest journey mankind has ever experienced. Ladies and gentlemen, we have contact.
Ladies and gentlemen, we come to you with breaking news about a deadly outbreak that has outreached the interwebs. Warning, side effects may include baldness, the need for specs, and looking like this poor motherfucker.
I was getting all fucking ready. I was getting ready to introduce the show. You cheeky bastard. You got to have a bit of fun, guys. You got to get honestly, look, the aliens have took away Dakota and replaced them by, well, them.
Yeah, why do you think I look older than I am? It's the time dilation affecting my age.
So an hour to us is like 5 years to them, you know. So
I should have asked Barry that when we had him on last night.
We should have.
If
so who's
alien abductions cause I can't even talk right now. So who's all in the chat right now? We have Kate Houston, Bald Bonkers, Chris. Who the hell is that imitator?
Don't know. I don't know. I mean, I bet he's a good looking guy. You know?
I guess it depends on how drunk you are.
See, guys, I wish I had virtual hands would come through the wall now and just hit him in the head, top of his bald head, you know? You know? We've got paranormal world investigators. Now, who's that? Who could that possibly be? I think we've got people. We have people watching on Facebook too.
That we do. JR Official 97. Who the hell is that one? That's a new one.
Welcome. That's a new one. It's a new subscriber to the network. You know?
Yes, we do have people watching on Facebook, Twitch, Trovo, D-Live, YouTube. Remember, we're everywhere, people. Mm-hmm. And just because we don't answer your messages doesn't mean we don't see you.
We also have a new TV network, don't we, Dakota? Do you want to tell everybody about that?
We do, yes. Bald and Bonkers continues to expand, and we have started to launch our official own TV network, courtesy of Strim. You can find old episodes and as well as watch live episodes as they happen on there.
Is it? Oh, I know who that is. I know who that guy is. The new guy. It's a friend of mine. His name's Jordan. There you go.
You have friends.
I do have friends, yeah. I've a couple, you know. It's a sad life I lead, but, you know, everything for the channel, you know. So tonight, guys, we're going to be talking about, obviously we had Barry Fitzgerald on last night for the Deceptions of Gods and Men, the book, right? Yeah. But we want to dive deeper into this because there's a lot of stuff we didn't get a chance to talk about and maybe we want to talk to you all guys about it. Now, later on, it will be, is it an open panel, Dakota?
Yeah, why not?
Yeah. So anybody out there that's into the supernatural UFOs or stuff, the link will be posted, and you can come and join. But honestly, Dakota, what did you think about last night, and what did you think about this book?
Okay, aside from the fact that we both got to meet someone we never thought we'd get to meet, I'm honestly still in shock. A lot. The short answer is that Barry's work gave us a lot to think about when it came to, obviously, the subject in general, but as well as our own experiences, hence the remarks about the sugar cravings that many abductees claim to have.
Yeah. I mean, there was some stuff in the book I didn't get a chance to get to that I'm going to talk about tonight. I mean, this is just a teaser for you. There's a bit in the book where the pastor from the United States thinks that computers, get this guys, computers made before 1984, 1985 can be possessed by entities. And the only way to get rid of those entities is to get rid of the hard drive. I find that strange, but then it makes you wonder, because it also talks about going down the lines of artificial intelligence and these quantum computers. It makes you wonder, well, AI and artificial intelligence, everybody's seen the Terminator movies. You don't want that happening. I mean, what's your thoughts on that, Dakota?
Well, first off, you have to take into consideration, and for those of you wondering what that link is, that's a link to the book. Yes, it's kind of shortened down. Honestly, do check it out. We're not just saying it just because, we're fanboying over Barry, but as far as the claims of computers over the 1975 being possessable, I mean, come on. Do you realize the type of hardware it would take to allow a computer to be able to run at the same capacity as the human mind?
Well, the human minds, there's more, is it neurons in the human brain than there is stars in the galaxy, isn't it? I mean, it's just ridiculous. I mean,
with the human brain, this is something I talked about before when it came to a lot of, ETs and implanting screen memories. The brain literally changes with every bit of information it gets.
Yeah.
And it can build structures, neurological structures, up to the 13th dimension.
Yeah.
This has actually all been proven.
I mean, you do need to worry about artificial intelligence. I will say that. I'm not saying that it can be possessed by entities. Maybe it could be. I don't know. I mean, you think about it. These entities, whoever they are, there is different entities out there that live in different dimensions. In theory, they could infiltrate like a supercomputer, a quantum computer, and infect it in some way. But I wouldn't say totally take it over. I wouldn't say like it'll get up and start walking about the house and stuff like that. But I think it could affect it to the point where it manipulates the humans that it's trying to control.
Well, first off, it doesn't really take that much. But I just thought of something, and this is completely on the spot here. Craig Campbell Basso, the Extraterrestrial Species Almanac, he's another gentleman we had on the show. Awesome guy. He actually wrote of a species known as the digital immortals.
Yeah.
And basically, here's the physical characteristics. They apparently originate from the Miro system. They're hairless humanoids, about 6 feet tall. Even though they are androgynous, sexless beings, some might take on more masculine or feminine qualities. They have uniform faces with very slight variations in features, translucent milky white skin, and vivid blue eyes. Basically, they are very tied to the Akashic records, and some even speculate that these beings may have been stemming from artificial intelligence in another system. And they actually say nowadays that some of the more sophisticated AI programs, say like the ones that are utilized in Facebook marketing, Xbox, all that, are already sentient. As Chris goes to the hot cup along.
Oh, hay fever, I can't help it, you know.
Yeah, it happens.
But you think about it, right? Our computers are getting better and better and better, right? I mean, you look at the two quantum computers that had to be unplugged because they were talking to each other. They actually developed a code between each other, right? That the scientists couldn't understand, and then they realised they were talking to each other in code. In theory, they came aware in their own way. So I mean, people talk about YouTube. YouTube's run by an artificial intelligence. Facebook's run by AI. The internet's run mostly by artificial intelligence. You get face recognition, artificial intelligence. Where is it going to end? And then if something, well, say it's a life form that we don't know of, but it's highly intelligent, it could easily take over a supercomputer.
Well, here's the thing. There is an Amazon series called Upload, starring Robbie Amell.
Yeah.
Well, basically, they have developed such sophisticated technology, they can create a digital afterlife. That would work a lot like these massive RPG games. We have a startup company now that's trying to do that.
Yeah.
To be able to convert human consciousness into usable data to create a digital immortality.
Yeah. Was that no in wait no me my kind of sci-fi buff here, was they know the same thing in the X-Files? There was a bit in the X-Files where they found this supercomputer it was the last X-Files that was released, the newer one, and they found this supercomputer, and in the supercomputer it was like an Earth and cities and stuff like that. It was just like Earth, right? But it was like they taking a little bit of you. So when you died, you were dead, obviously, but you, as a copy, was wandering about this world, immortal. It's actually quite scary, and it makes you wonder if they could do that right now. They probably could. They could probably just take a copy of how you are.
I mean, which would you rather deal with? The floating heads in jars from Futurama or a computer program? Which would be easier to move around?
No, computer
the jar or the computer? I mean, nowadays you can get typical apps on your phone that carry on full-on conversations. They can act as cheap therapists, basically. I've heard of stories that these programs are actually helping save marriages, which I thought was interesting.
Yeah. Are you talking about the artificial intelligence AI friend you can get for your phone?
That little replica? Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's kind of concerning the number of people who talk about abusing it. That's a little scary. But nevertheless, there's stuff like that. There's AI programs I've utilized in order to help create some of our artworks. Some of you are familiar with the renderings in the trailer of my potential hybrid children. That was created utilizing AI that is very similar to the aging programs that police would use in missing person reports. It's readily available. It's in our fingertips now. And it is scary impressive. So can you just imagine what it's going to be in 5 years?
Can you imagine just 5? 20? Just 20? 20 years is no quite good. I mean, right, let's say just 5 years' time. Look at phones now. They've all got the person that speaks to you, and asks the weather and stuff like that. That's just crazy. I mean, I just dread to think what the way we are going in human society. because we're getting dependent on computers to run everything.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And it's actually quite a serious... we need to get a guest on to talk about this one night, because I think that it's a very serious thing. Because you think about it, eventually computers will run everything. You imagine an artificial intelligence that runs nuclear power stations, runs the airport landing systems, that runs cars, self-driving cars, all linked to this one computer, and say it becomes self-aware, and it doesn't like us.
All right. Here's a quote from Elon Musk. You got to remember, this guy's got Tesla bots.
Mm-hmm.
He's totally fascinated with the concept. Elon put out this. There's this quote that floats around on social media that makes a very valid point.
Yeah.
With artificial intelligence, the use of robots, we can make jobs safer, in theory. We can have them take on jobs either too dangerous or too hard-loading for people to actually do. There's the type of jobs where you can make a couple $1,000s in one single day, that just because how easy it is, it could potentially you can end up dying on the job. Just like a human is trying to build a road, and there's an anthill. We're not going to stop to save that anthill, are we?
No.
No, we're going to plow right over it to get the job done. AI will probably think of us in that same scenario. We put ourselves... It sees humanity as getting in its way of its objective. It's not going to have two thoughts of whether or not it would be morally right.
Yeah. I dread to think. I mean, I'm 40 now, so I'm the oldest one here, guys. So I dread to think what it will be like when I'm 60. If we're still here, mind you. If we've not nuked each other, you know. Or went to
you'll
war
have
and killed all our species.
you'll have
off,
a robot servant. Change your diapers there, old man.
60 is the new 40, you know. But honestly, I mean, there's other very interesting things in the book. I mean, in the book, there's actually about the serpents, and you were talking about that. Do you want to elaborate on that?
Oh, that's kind of a wide area there, my friend.
But
All right.
you know,
No, I was just going to say, with how heavily influenced a lot of media is due to Christianity, we automatically think of serpents as evil. But yet, you go into the ancient practices, and if Mike's in here, he can elaborate, because I know he's talked about it, the same context. Serpents as being knowledgeable. And the thing is with the book that I found kind of off-putting was that it took a lot of focus on the darker what-ifs when it comes to this type of phenomenon. I mean, there's a part in it where a woman is freaking out because an over 8-foot tall being showed up at her house and was asking for dinner. She goes and runs off to the bathroom. The husband gets home and says, "Would you tell your wife I'm not going to eat her?"
Yeah.
Right then and there, the authors of the book, it's not just Barry, it's also Brian Allen, they take that as, okay, would there be a situation where that being would have eaten her? As in the missing 411 cases? Or, and this is honestly the impression I got,
it was Joel.
The thing knew that it was scary looking to us normal humans, so it was trying to make a joke to make light of the situation.
Yeah.
Because these things has a sense of humor, trust me.
Yeah. I mean, in the book they talked about, right, the serpents, right, and how they talk about the soul part here, and how it would go to this place in the blackness, and it would have to travel along this water, and the serpents would be in the water. But do you not find that it's strange, the serpents? Because serpents have been in human history from the beginning. You think, right, let's go to the Bible, right? Let's go to the Bible here. They had Adam and Eve. What was in the tree that came down to give the apple, that told her to take the
Serpent.
apple? A serpent. You look at a lot of things nowadays, like especially government-run things, and they'll have serpents in the badges. It makes you wonder: is there two that see Barry, another author, thinks that there's like these creatures, the dark creatures that live in the dark realms, and they take the soul, and that's their purpose, right? I believe that there's two. I believe that there's dark entities, and I believe there's light entities. What happens if the dark entities are the serpents? And that's what they've always been known as, serpents. What's your thoughts?
Again, this is where the focus on it being evil, 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 bad, bad, bad. I get what Barry was trying to say.
Mm-hmm.
In a lot of the remarks, especially towards the interview, which go back and watch that, it's probably one of our best ones yet, where it's not necessarily always assume that they're evil. It's be careful with what you're dealing with. Even the friendlies, if they get sick of you, they can take you out.
See, this is the thing, too. You got to think about, not all serpents were always thought as bad. It was the Bible and the Catholic Church and the other religions that classed serpents as bad. The serpents came as knowledge bringers. They brought knowledge, right? So, I mean, everybody goes on about Christmas. Everybody knows about Christmas. It's actually off a pagan, right? It's off a pagan, right? And what did the pagans used to worship? Serpents. Yeah, you see where I'm going with this? I mean, later we'll be putting the link in the chat, guys, if any of you want to come in and discuss this with us. But I do think the book focused on quite the bad side of things more than the lighter side of things a wee bit. I don't think that all things are evil and out to get us.
Here's something that I'm surprised did not come up, and note it's not just because Barry's Irish. I'm putting that out there right now. St. Patrick's driving all the serpents out of Ireland.
Yeah.
How did that not come up? Number one. And number two, if the Catholic Church truly saw serpents as being all evil, many people try to say that the serpent in the garden was Lucifer. What is the name of what do they call the telescope that's at Vatican?
Yeah.
Lucifer.
Yeah.
Why is there a temple of bones underneath underneath the Vatican?
Well.
Why is there halls in the Vatican that if you look at it standing from just the right spot, it looks like a snake head?
Yeah.
You gotta remember, it's not necessarily all the Catholic Church is bad, blah, 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 blah. Yes, there were some corrupt SOBs that got into it. The Catholic Church is just more recent examples that most people could be related to.
Yeah. It's like if you go, it's not just Catholic Church, it's the normal Christianity too. If you go back further enough, let's take the birth of Jesus, right? Christmas, right? It wasn't actually on that day.
No, it wasn't.
No, it wasn't. And you've got to remember, it was the taking it off the pagan side of stuff. You know, because the Romans used to, eventually, when they stopped worshipping their gods and stuff, which some of them were serpents again, started believing in Jesus and stuff. I think serpents have always played a part. It makes me wonder because you get the aliens out there, the extraterrestrials out there, I should say, that resemble serpents. The lizard, what is it? The lizard reptilians, right? It makes you wonder if that's who. That's who.
Actually,
yeah.
Actually, I'm glad you put that into it, because there's several indigenous tribes. If I remember, I'll admit this is coming off the top of my head, but Australian Aborigines, there's actually an old tale from Aboriginal culture that say serpent-like beings came about to help the people on land get to shelter, basically, when there was a cataclysm on the way.
Yes.
And let's shift that to Anunnaki as well. Anunnaki, they're very humanoid looking, but they're considered part of the reptoid genome.
Yeah.
Part of the serpents. The serpent in the garden was believed to be an Anunnaki that went rogue. Did it do it because it was trying to rebel? Yeah, probably. And part of them regret that choice, from my understanding. But nevertheless, it's also said that some of the Anunnaki took on personal interest where they had intimate relations with Earth women.
Yes.
And automatically, possibly because of the PC culture we have now, everybody assumes that it's immediately going into the area of sexual assault.
Yeah.
Which would have happened a lot back then. I'll give them that. But who knows? We weren't there.
Yeah. I mean, look at Kate Hudson there, the comment for Kate Hudson there. The serpent symbol also represents health and healing. You look at a lot of medical badges, the American medical badge? It's famous, it's even British Day, it's got 2 serpents on it.
Yeah, the staff of Hermes.
Yes.
The staff of Hermes. And in Barry's book, if I remember correctly, he even speculated that it may be connected to the double helix formation of DNA.
Yes. Yes, that's right. The DNA that goes up so is like a snake, a serpent again. I do think that the serpents have got a big part to play. Whoever these entities are, I think they've got something to do with serpents. Right? What's that there? There's some of the Raymond G Newsroom. Good evening, welcome to the live, guys.
Hello, Raymond.
But
that's one of the ones that came on from Parapost.
What other things would you like to talk about the book, because it's just through
I mean, then as I was going into a correlation that Barry brought up in the book, relating to the Anunnaki, once again, there's Hopi tribes that also talk about these ant-like people coming up from the ground and helping people get underground to avoid a cataclysm.
That's right.
And the name for them was Anunnaki, ant friend, which is interesting. Yes, I just did say that the Anunnaki are considered part of the reptilian DNA marks.
Yes.
But there have been some alleged reports out of facilities like Area 51 where known ET species that have come about on this Earth or come out from under the ground even.
Yeah.
Are they look like giant ants.
Yeah, I mean, there's been cases where people have said, I was took aboard the ship, and there was these creatures that looked like ants. They look like ants, but they weren't the ants. They were a lot bigger. But it's fascinating. It's absolutely fascinating. The lost history that's been covered up for us is totally the history that we believe in now. Is not what really happened. It's not. It's not. There's something. It's all been changed for a reason.
That's up for debate because.
You think so?
Okay, you have to realize that when it comes to how mainstream science works out nowadays, everything has to be verifiable. It has to pass majority vote.
Aye, but what I'm trying to say is things have been covered up throughout time. you think about it, things have been covered up. But why has it been covered up? Why has this been covered up?
And as I was going to say, not all of it is part of some grand scheme to censor human history. One thing I've been seeing nowadays is the continents outside of the ice wall were flat earthers.
Yes.
First
flat
off,
earthers.
they try to say, oh, governments are trying to cover this up. Okay, how do they win? By hiding something like that. And how are they going to continue hiding it with space travel becoming more readily available these days?
Yeah.
Number one, it's human interpretation and passes a majority vote, and certain things just got lost over time. That's one thing we got to remember before we start pointing the fingers at, oh, it's a cover-up. Oh, it's a cover-up. What is it about these things that would make it worth covering up? Was it something terrible that happened, and they're trying to hide it away so nobody would ever have to deal with it again? Maybe. That's been proposed in some cases.
Yeah, I mean, right, let's talk about flat earth here, right? Flat earthers believe that the earth is flat, obviously, right? And there's a giant ice wall surrounding the earth, right? I don't personally know, I've never been to space, right? But I do believe we're on a planet, right? Flat earthers believe that the earth is flat, but all the other planets in the solar system are planets. Now, what I can't get, this really annoys me with flat earthers, is because they say that the earth is covered by a protective dome and nothing, what is it? It's got the
firmament.
The firmament, right? That's it. And you cannot go up to a certain height and you cannot come down, right? But then they go on about all the other planets are real. So what is it? If the firmament's there, right, and you can't go up, right, and you can't see nothing, it's all kiddo, how do they know that the planets are real?
Yeah, that's a very good point. There was this video, I was just thinking around on TikTok. There's this rocket launch that went up and went back down.
Yeah.
And the guy was like, oh, that's not aliens. That's not a UFO. That was nothing like that. That was the firmament keeping that shit down.
Yeah.
That was a firecracker. That was a bottle rocket that went up.
As
your brother points out, the Flat Earth Society has members all around the world. Please read that again.
Yeah. And then they go on, and then the flat earthers go on about aliens coming down in their spaceships, right? So how are they meant to come down if they've got I know, exactly. It's as if they change it to suit their thing, and then they go back on their words. And that's why I think they're low raving lunatics, but personally, that's just me. But until they can prove to me that we are on a flat earth, I believe that we're on a planet going around the sun.
Okay.
You know?
There's a simulation out there. I can't remember who it was by. But basically, the idea of it was, what would happen, how would it feel as someone running from the center of a flat Earth to the outer edge? Okay?
Yeah.
Basically, in how gravity would work, because gravity is a thing despite what flat earthers say, the buildings in itself would have to be at a constant incline the further towards the edge in order to make it feel like for the people who live there that they're sitting flat. But another thing, if someone were to try to physically run from the center of the globe to the edge, they would have to constantly keep moving, because the further out to the edge they got, it would feel like they're actually moving uphill. And the main thing that they should be worried about is if they trip and fall, what's going to happen if you're trying to fall uphill? You're going to come down pretty quickly.
I mean, I know we're getting off the kind of subject here, but what gets me with the flat earth, right? Honestly, this really gets me, is the sun is a giant bulb. Have you heard that one? The sun is basically a giant bulb.
There's another one. There's another one starting to float around. You got to hear this one.
Right.
Going back to where I said that apparently if you manage to get through the hole in the ice wall and get to the other continents that are outside the ice wall, There's other suns. There's more moons. And people are trying to point to the fact that there have been optical illusions due to the pollution in the Earth's atmosphere, making the sun look like it's a double.
Oh God. Yeah.
I can't believe.
You know, and this is an actual fact, right? And a lot of people don't know this. The two people that invented the flat Earth Society, right, did it deliberately as a joke. Did you know that? To see how many people would follow them and think it was real.
And here's the thing. And this is a common theme I've noticed with a lot of fringe research groups. Let's use the term Barry was using. The flat Earth, even those of us in the paranormal, we're not saying what we're saying because we want to try to put out what is actually going on. We're saying what we're saying. We're doing the things that we're doing is because we are so egotistical and so self-loathing that we're looking for something to fight against in order to make ourselves feel better.
Yeah. What I'm going to laugh at is I'm going to get a couple of things here. What I'm going to laugh at is when Elon Musk decides to go to Mars. And when space tourism actually explodes in the next, say, 30 years' time, right? These people, they'll see that happen. And what they got to do when they get up in that spaceship and they're like, oh dear, it's an Earth. They've realised they've wasted about 30 years of their life talking about something that's absolutely utter shit. You know?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's madness. I mean, here's another conspiracy for you guys that I cannot get my head around. That link that I sent you about the birds, do you know what I'm talking about, Dakota? The birds. The people that think birds are drones.
Oh, yep, I know that one. Yep.
Birds do not exist. They're actually robots sent from the government to spy on you. All birds don't exist. They're actually robots. I mean, holy shit, they've got millions and millions of subscribers to their channel, thinking that birds are robots watching you and scanning your brain.
Okay.
This is how the Flat Earth Society was created, with the same kind of thing.
This is something that I really... Okay. I know I've used this to make fun of you for the number of times I've seen you playing on Xbox.
Yes. I like my Xbox, can't help it.
And
I like to sit and listen to my brother talking rubbish.
And there's people that fire back at me because I also have Xbox, but my excuse is I'm actually in video games, so that's kind of a business investment.
Yeah.
But for God's sakes, people need to get outside.
I know.
You know, exploring the world. Seeing for yourself that there's baby birds. I mean, for God's sakes, the front of my house turns into an avian nursery every summer.
Well, they're all robots and they're there to spy on you.
Well, they should probably send a better model because there's some sort of mutation with this bunch that comes to my house that causes some of the birds to be born without eyes.
Well, there you go. You know what that is? The government can't afford the eyes, and there's no other delivery from China.
Hey, you want to hear something else that's funny?
What?
Speaking of made in China.
What's that?
Did you know all made in China stickers are made in Korea?
Oh my God! Does anybody want to come up, guys? We've only got 20 minutes left to quote or something like that.
Yeah,
so we
can go longer if we want. You know what? Well, I want to hear some of your comments, guys. And for the channels that don't necessarily get our chat messages, there's the link below. And just in case those of you who get confused about the playbacks, look for the original air date in the description.
Yes.
before you start messaging us saying you got offended, thinking we ignored you.
Yes, and remember, this is a Sunday show. If you're watching this on a Wednesday, you'll realise that this is pre-recorded. But obviously not pre-recorded now because we're live right now because it's Sunday.
We do the live shows, then we send out the pre-recorded to channels that we can stream live to. Then we send it to the podcast.
Yes.
The live shows are to try to make it more fun and allow more people to join. So that way, in case y'all have any questions, feel free to ask. Plus, it's just a lot more fun doing it live shows.
And plus it helps us with our watch hours too, you know. Helps us get on that road, you know, which we're nearly at. So,
Oh, yeah.
yes. So if you're watching this on a Thursday, this is not live. Okay? It's live here right now in this time zone, in this second, and it's a Sunday. Okay? I bet I get a message saying, why did you not talk to me?
Hey. And what is it with it being the same group of people?
I don't know.
You know, speaking of BS groups that are finding idiots to follow them, I've noticed that it's the same group of people. They're all friends with each other that try to give a shit. And they probably don't even realize that we know that much about them.
Yeah.
And for those of you who would like to sit on your fat asses and try to stir up shit on the internet, we're both trained investigators, and we know how to dig up background information on you and can report you to the nearest authorities if we feel the need to do so.
Yeah. It's ridiculous. I mean, I just don't know. I honestly, sometimes, you know.
You know, someone actually called me a plonker.
That's terrible. God, you a plonker, that's terrible.
And it was on that other video that I did the other day that freaked everybody out. It's like, don't worry, we're fine. That person is okay. I just had to address it before it potentially became a problem.
Yeah.
Situation's been resolved. Don't worry.
Yeah. So, guys, the link's in the chat. If Sherry, Drew, if you want to come on, you want to talk about what you think the interview last night.
That's Sherry.
Before I say that, my magical words had brought forth Sherry from
Be careful what you wish for.
How do you, Sherry? So, Sherry, what's your thoughts on our guest for last night saying some of his
He was a very interesting man. He most definitely makes you sit there and think about things. Like some of the stuff that he was saying, I was kind of like,
right?
okay,
I know
so
Drew was making fun of mine.
With, like, because I've got an alien guy standing here, and you telling me this might not be an alien. So I was kind of like trying to puzzle it. He's very interesting, and he's very catching, and he's very acknowledgeable in what he knows. But some of it was a little bit, I don't know how to put it, kind of sways you off from what you actually believe and you've seen.
Yeah,
it makes you think.
It's a lot of the book I've noticed was kind of geared towards the darker what if scenarios when it comes to this type of thing.
Yeah, that was the bit that was confusing me because he was making it quite relevant that most of what we come into communication with is possibly of the dark. And I'm like, well, no, because with the work that I do and the things that I do, like you guys, we have encountered both light and dark. So in that category, I was kind of a little bit puzzled on what he was saying, but at the same time, I could understand what he was going on about in the darkness because there is that out there, but there is light as well, guys. Definitely light. There is definitely light as we've been communicating with something really strange that none of us, you know what I mean? So
yeah, it was
very interesting.
It was.
What's your thoughts, Drew, on last night?
Oh, it was amazing. Just a lot of the things that we try and figure out. It's good to hear it for somebody that's been through a lot of investigations and spoke to a lot of people that's got a lot of knowledge and like the educational side of it. So it was interesting to hear his point of view for like an education purpose, if you know what I mean, as well as an investigator side. I mean, very interesting.
I did find it interesting, and maybe you and Sherry, Drew, and Sherry's maybe experienced this when they seen the two spirits in the castle up high, but when they taken his video camera out and videoed them, it only showed one spirit. But with his own eyes, he could see two spirits. And that's happened. That's happened to multiple people, which is
but
fascinating.
like I've had investigations where I'm walking around and I'm on a field or I'm in an area and I'm seeing two prominent energies walking, and then when I'm looking on the camera, you're only seeing like one. But
Yeah.
you know, they do strange things. It is a
But
lot about
explain
the
that.
energy and the levels, isn't it? Because you think they can be walking on different levels. They're walking together, they can see each other, but they're on different levels. So it doesn't necessarily mean you're going to see it through a camera, because they're walking in a different area at a different time. It's all
It was
about,
interesting that he said that some entities can't reveal themselves because they know that we wouldn't could handle it. That was interesting.
yeah,
See,
that I did find interesting.
Aye.
See, I did
Creepy
find
as
that
well, but
interesting.
interesting.
The only thing that kind of annoyed me slightly is when he said, "Oh, spirits, like, say your great uncle McDougal, right? I'm just making somebody up. Isn't it actually your great uncle? It's this dark energy that's played everybody that's dead. Everybody that's dead isn't here. That's played by this entity." I don't get that.
That was the bit that confused me. That's the bit that confused me because of my communication and talking to spirit and stuff. I know very well that there's good and there's bad. Do you know what I mean? So when in that bit, I didn't agree completely with him, because I was like, no, there is light and it's not all darkness, because I work with that. What are we working with then if there is no light?
But he's in Ireland, so there'll be a lot of spirits in Ireland that maybe is that wee bit more darker than the spirits that we come across in our areas. So nobody's right, you know?
Yeah. Oh, amazing guy, and hopefully we'll get him back to talk about some of his other books, because he's got like 6 or 7 books out. I didn't realise until I googled them. I googled them last night. I was like, my God, look at all the books this guy's brought out.
He's very well known.
He is, and like I don't think that he's wrong in anything that he was saying. I think some of it was just. I don't agree that it's 100% like that because of the communication. Obviously, like Sis said, he's in Ireland. There's probably a lot more energy. There is a lot of negative energy that's known to be linked to Ireland. Okay, but there is going to be some form of light there as well. Where there's darkness, there is light.
He maybe seeked out the darker entities as well, so that he could do like a kind of balance on it, if you like, erase it.
It's like he said on the show, didn't he? It's intention. If he's going out there believing the intentions that everything is bad, he's only going to receive the bad energies, isn't he? Sort of thing. You know what I mean? It is all about what you think and you believe.
It was very interesting, though. It was amazing.
What I did find really interesting, and Drew, because you're into this kind of stuff, and Sherry, you're into this, the kind of pagan stuff, and the kind of stuff that, you know what I'm talking, model stone structures. Have you ever noticed when you enter like a stone structure, everything changes? It's like the energy's totally different. You've ever noticed that?
Yeah. I find that with the castle.
A more modern one,
Yeah. I think with the castle's walls being so thick, and most of them are sandstone, I do believe, I think that holds a lot in and keeps a lot out, of course, but it does also hold a lot in.
Sandstone is said to be one of these stones that very much attracts the spiritual side of things. Anyway, you would find a lot of spiritual energies around that sort of stone, and it's not just that. But when you go into these places, they're old, they've got history, and these stories and these things that these people have gone through and left behind stays in these walls. So a lot of times when you walk into these sort of places, you feel like you're going back in time. Okay, when you're spiritually open, you're not in the 2022 when you're in these buildings. You're back in 1600, 1700. You'll be seeing things in a different way. You'll be seeing things through what they see.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? So, like when you see these ghosts floating in there, they just don't like hitting the ground. That's not them floating. They're walking in the building in their time, where there was a floor there was doors there. That is what these things where you'll see them going through these walls that are suddenly here, and you know, walking up on different levels. They're walking on floors. They're walking through doorways.
It's like
their house has.
It's like someone will see a spirit. It's like they'll see a spirit in their house, right? They'll be out walking. They'll be in their house and they'll see the spirit walk through the wall and then look like it's hovering and it disappears up the ceiling. But if you look back far enough to that building, There was a door
There
where
was-
it walked
there was a
through,
doorway
and
with
there
a
was a set of
stairway,
steps,
they're
and a
walking up
set
the
of
stairs.
steps.
Yeah, that's
Yes.
what they're doing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like that castle that we did up at, it's not Douglas, where is it, Chris? Up the one we were going to go back
Crawford.
to, with the stairs
Crawford
go
Castle.
down. Yeah, it's like that,
Yeah, that's
isn't
right.
it? It doesn't even look as if there could be stairs there, but obviously in the day there was.
Yeah. I mean, that one about Dakota was talking about with the sugar. Was Dakota?
Yeah, that was one I found interesting because
Yeah.
I know that with Cassius, he's been trying to experiment with this to try to get to essentially our level. Anybody who has dealt with a severe enough contact, we've all had intense sugar craving afterwards. I thought that was interesting, especially when he started talking about it in the book, that the sugar can actually dull psychic senses, especially if you're over here in the States, because we're very bad about that.
Oh, good God. Reese's peanut butter cups are my downfall, I'm afraid.
They're lovely.
But it
Which
makes you wonder.
it doesn't make me look good because I have Reese's cupcakes stashed in my room.
Oh,
We don't
wow.
get things like that over here.
No,
We
you
get
do
these
actually, if you know
stuff
where,
like
you know where to go. You
You get them off the internet.
No, there's
Amazon.
shops that sell them, but I'll not mention them on here.
Right, okay.
There's one in Lanark, right? But honestly, it's quite interesting. It's quite interesting talking about the sugary products, because he was saying before ghost hunters will go out on an investigation, they'll go to like a McDonald's and have something to eat, and then they'll eat like high sugar concentrate stuff. Because I've done ice cream and stuff like that, and then they go out, and then they might no experience. Everybody should have a
It
salad
shows that
before you
maybe
go.
everybody should just eat fruit, drink water and things for maybe 24 hours to kind of fast, like what they do in the religious retreats and things, like just do a fasting, and then that puts you to like a kind of neutral level. As long as your sugar levels are down and it's going to make you well, I would assume that it would help you communicate better.
Well, when you all go ghost hunting, when we all go ghost hunting together, you all go in the ghost hunt, and I'll meet you back at what do you call it, KFC.
Alan will not like us doing without the turnips tea cakes.
I'm not
Oh, he
gonna
likes
front
his stunning cakes, does Alan? No, I likes his stunning cakes.
I've always gone like you're saying, like a junk food, like but yeah, like when you're going out, you'll eat something that's quite, it's not healthy. Like if I go to either a McDonald's or a KFC or something, then we'll go out, and I always find that when we're coming back from the investigation, we have to stop to get something to eat as well.
As well.
Always a McDonald's or a KFC again, and then it'd be like a big chocolate milkshake or a big drink of Pepsi or Coke, and like buying a couple of chocolate bars. Like when he said like it's not good to eat unhealthy food when you're doing the investigation, I thought, well, hang on a minute. Well, with me, I communicate perfectly fine with eating my junk food before I go to an investigation. I had no problems with communicating.
Yeah, well, not before.
They would run away if I didn't take that stuff because they like the offerings I take to them. So I think they'd be a bit peed
I
off.
get it.
Yeah, it's like me. I like my pancakes with maple syrup.
Yeah.
I found it kind of funny. Have y'all seen Men in Black 3?
No, yeah.
No.
I'm
Okay.
not sure if I have.
Okay. Yeah, the part of the movie, it basically deals with time travel, and Will Smith's character, after some sort of incident has caused a rift in the timeline, he gets this intense craving for chocolate milk.
Yeah.
Then he goes to explain that in the movie that chocolate milk helps with headaches associated with time fractures. I just couldn't help but wonder, holy shit, what else is Men in Black hiding if fucking chocolate milk actually helps with this stuff?
Well, chocolate milk is really good.
I was like, what the heck?
There is a little bit of truth behind that though, because ain't you noticed that when you're not feeling well, like for us ladies, when our lady thing of the month comes around, what is the one thing we all go for? Most of us will go for chocolate. It seems to be a comfort food, doesn't it? It seems to make you feel a bit better.
Look at Dakota, he's agreeing with there because he knows all about it.
11 sisters,
Well,
dude.
dressed up.
Yeah. And obviously, I'm not just saying us ladies. Obviously, there are guys that are really partial to chocolate when they're feeling a little like they need some. You know, it's for anybody. Like, chocolate is a go-to thing to make you feel better. It don't matter what sex you are. And when he said,
beat Nutella.
if you eat all this stuff, it's bad, and it stops you from communicating. I was like, well, when he said that, I thought, well, I still communicate perfectly fine with the spirits by giving that food. And I'm their best friend because I give that food to them as well.
Because you give them chocolate.
I know that if I went there and said, right, we're not having KFCs or milkshakes or anything,
know how
it's going to be fruit and bananas, I know that they're going to go. You know what I mean? Because they know what I'm like. And they like that stuff. And it seems to give them energy. So
it probably does. A Mars a day.
It does. So when he said it, I was like, I ain't giving my KFCs and stuff.
It was Dakota's face as well. Dakota's like...
Well, I know you were making fun of me in the chat, and I was just like, okay, this is all making way too much sense right now.
I see your eyes. You'd be sitting there and your eyes would just widen and you'd be like...
I was waiting in the K2 meter lighting up to confirm everything.
Right.
Light up K2 meter
And
if you
it
think
just
Dakota's
did.
not allowed any more chocolate ever again.
Sorry, like I love the guy. I love the guy. He was awesome, really educational. But I am not giving up my junk food when I'm investigating. That's not happening.
Do it. Spirits
and
wouldn't have it.
Not let it happen either. They'll have a word with you if that goes on.
Oh, I wonder how his wife feels about these suggestions.
True.
Yeah.
I mean, it was a great interview. I thought I would never get to meet somebody for like a TV show, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But
Yeah,
there you go.
he's
It
very
just shows you.
intelligent.
Amazing what this guy can pull off. It really is. It's amazing what he can pull off.
Oh, well done,
We have
Dakota.
Philip to thank for that, man.
I know.
Philip was the one that sent
Thank
me
you,
his
Philip.
contact info.
Well done, Philip.
No.
Excuse me.
Somebody's ringing.
Oh,
Somebody's phoning you. But awesome. I mean, honestly, the book is good, really good, and I'm going to buy more of his books because I do find it very interesting.
Yeah.
But I do think that all the spirits that come to your relatives and stuff like that, I do think they're actually your relatives. Some of them could be tricksters. Don't get me wrong. Some of them could be tricksters. Some of them could be like demonic, or they could be passing themselves off as your great uncle. You know what I'm trying to say?
We've always knew that. Mm-hmm. Yeah. But just to be careful. That's the message. Be careful, isn't it?
I
Watch
apologize.
what you're communicating with.
It was Philip. He was phoning. What is it, Sherry? There you go.
She's
Rudy.
signed up, Sherry. You're getting the next
it
post
wasn't
hunter
really, it
lead.
was just like somebody just ringing me. Like there's some stuff that I've got going on that I'm helping with. So they were ringing.
Okay. Good.
I'll talk to you all later.
Right.
Okay.
Thank you, Sherry. Thanks for coming up.
Right, okay, I'll let you end the show, guys, and I will pop
No
off as
problem.
well. Blessings from
Love and light,
Scotland,
guys.
everybody.
Thank you, Sherry.
Bye.
Thank you, Drew.
See you later.
Bye.
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 So, Dakota, tonight has been fascinating, hasn't it?
Here's the thing, real quick. With the whole dark versus light thing that Barry was going for,
Yeah.
I honestly believe he was trying to put it in more of a psychology
Yes.
framework, to be honest, because like we were talking about before we came on, how he's talking about the soul being the darker side, the more animalistic side. It's not necessarily stuff that's evil. It's stuff that's in there that'll do whatever it takes to survive.
Yeah.
So it may have just confused a lot of wording, but that's also what a lot of people keep saying about the paranormal, being that none of us can agree on a set series of definitions on what the hell is actually going on.
Yeah.
So,
Dakota, do we have any news about anything about the TV channel some people might be in tonight that never was here last night?
well, yeah, everybody always comes in the last few minutes.
I know.
But I have noticed that
know.
I have been getting a lot of people messaging me saying that YouTube's not notifying them when they should.
Yeah.
We're on to you.
Yeah.
So, for those of you who may not know, the Bald and Bonkers has started growing its own television network,
Yes.
which I'll go ahead and bring up now. You can actually access directly from our website, baldandbonkers.net. Here, let me just get it up here.
There's a comment there for you. DNTV. You guys are amazing. Thank you very much. And I will be contacting you, DN, to get you on the show sometime soon.
I think he actually wants us on his show, too.
Oh, do you? There you go.
Hey, we're down for it. You just let us know when you want us. We'll try to figure something out. Here, oh, come on. Oh, by the way, Chris, there is a little bit of news that does involve you.
Oh, what's that?
As well. So here is the link to the TV network to be accessed from the main website. We'll just put it up on chat. And we'll try to open it up here. And basically, this will just play through all of our episodes. It schedules everything automatically. It runs just like a TV program. Let's see if we can get this damn thing to work. Share. Oh, look, there's Sherry. See, it's running through an episode right now. There's Chad hiding behind the UFO. So we do have that, and we do also have a new collection in the official store that Chris, you might be interested in.
Is this the Chris and Alan show ones?
How did you know about that?
It's my psychic energies. Tell you.
There's now Chris and Alan show merch.
There you go,
There's
ladies
a
and gentlemen.
neck gaiter. I thought of Alan when we did this, so we make Chris and Alan face masks.
Oh, fantastic!
There's pajamas, hoodies, car covers. There's water bottles here. There's actually Bluetooth water bottles on here as well that you can hook your phone up to and listen to music while you're out for your walks.
That's good. That's
kind of
actually
expensive,
really good. Maybe need to get the Chris and Alan seat covers. It's quite good, that actually. You know.
That's it.
Thanks. That's really good. Alan will be sitting watching. That's the Newbies family.
And there's Chris and Alan balloons.
Oh, balloons!
In a little heart shape. There's
Oh.
Chris and Alan Hawaiian shirt. Oh, come on. Bring up the other picture, damn you.
There's the Christian show. Was that the hats? That's quite a good hat. That.
Car mats, phone covers. We'll add some more later. And yes,
So
you can actually watch the lives through the TV network as well. And look, there we are.
Yeah, you don't need to come to YouTube or Facebook. You can go straight to the website.
And you can even check out episodes that you may have missed.
Yeah.
So, plus, I did also dig up some old episodes from both Chris and I. So, there's also some content on there.
That'll be when we first started off.
Yeah, I also put it in the rotation, the very first interview you ever did with me, where you called it Interview with the Demon. Thanks for that.
Well, there you go.
Hey, that's when I first met Drew, too. Oh, shit. Oh. It's kind of scary how far we've gone with all this. You know, I honestly can't believe how far we've gotten. And for those of you who aren't interested, we do have stuff involving the documentary as well.
Oh, yes.
Where if you want to be in it, we're looking for people to tell us our thoughts. You can tell us what you think about the UFO phenomenon. Do you think it's complete shit? Do you think that there's some sort of grand scale event coming? Or if you have your own story you want to share with us and you have evidence you want to put with it, there's stuff set up on the website as well. I'm just dropping it in the chat right now. I'm going to put it up on screen for the video replay real quick.
Yeah.
You can be in the film on that because hint, hint, nudge, nudge. Oh, wink, wink, nudge, nudge. This idiot always says.
What's that?
Barry may be joining us for the documentary.
Barry Fitzgerald might be joining us for the documentary.
You were sitting with us. You knew that.
I was doing that for effects for everybody in the chat. So there'll be graphs in the seats, you know. Acting, man, acting. I'm a terrible actor, but I had to do that there, you know.
Well, you didn't expect me to pull that stunt I did at the beginning of the episode.
No, I didn't expect that, but I will say this to Alan. This will be recording the Chris and Alan show tomorrow. But Alan will be sitting there with his mum and his brother sitting next to him, looking forward to the Chris and Alan merchandise.
Mm-hmm. And if Alan wants to be in the documentary, he can too.
Yes.
It's open for anybody.
Yeah. You know.
So I think that covers all of the news we're allowed to say right now.
Yeah, because there's some top secret stuff going on in the.
Well, but you know what? Let's give him a little bit of a shout out.
Yeah.
What was it? Last week we had Brian and Lex on.
Oh yes, Brian and Lex.
You may have seen Brian. He likes to flail his so-called successes in front of the screen for everybody.
Mm-hmm. He's got a very big mic. He likes his big mic. Yeah, I've noticed that.
You must be compensating for something.
Mm.
But do go check out Parapost. We do stream through there as well. June 1st, Brian has a very big announcement coming from, and Bald and Bonkers has been invited.
Yes.
That much we can tell you. So
there you go.
You stick around. We're going to try to help him out as much as we can. He's going to be getting a hold of me here in the next couple of days to go over details. So much going on.
Oh, yeah.
You're not going to want to miss it. I mean, we didn't expect to ever meet Barry Fitzgerald, so we surprised ourselves.
It's a big thing meeting him, because honestly, I never thought in my life I would get to meet Barry Fitzgerald, because he's one of the first kind of ghost hunters out there. There's Simply Alan in the chat, Dakota. Look at that. What's that? He's eating all the Tunnix tea cakes. I need to get him a box of Tunnix tea cakes tomorrow, you know.
Oh, is that actually Alan? No, Alan, we made this merch.
That is Simple Alan. That is Alan, because I created that channel for him. Yeah, that's Alan.
Yeah, well, we made you some merch, Alan. So pimp us out.
Yeah. The bikinis will be coming soon, so you'll be able to get some there for that.
Well, you want Chris and Alan bikinis?
Well, no, no.
Chris, what you do in your time? What you do in
it's not for me, it's for Alan. He's into that kind of stuff. Alan's into that kind of thing. I'm just,
Sorry, Alan. You seem like a cool guy, but I'm sorry, the visuals were just too much.
You know, he's going to be waiting on me tomorrow. He's going to be standing waiting on me tomorrow for me to pick him up to do the show. He's just going to be waiting with a big club.
And for those of you who complained about no links to the store being in the description, there's the flow code where all of our links are on there.
Yeah.
Or you can get Drew's Paranormal.
Yes, that's right.
Merch too. There's shot glasses in there, so if you need, a little something on the side to deal with her, we won't blame you.
Yeah. Yeah. So, ladies and gentlemen,
no, please don't put me in a jar.
I put Dakota in a jar. I think he should go in a jar.
Oh, we got to make that. We got to make that into a merch line.
Put Dakota and Chris in a jar. I've just had an idea for that. I'm not telling you the news in case somebody steals my idea. I'll tell you after the show. It's just popped into my head. I've just had an idea. I'm not doing it until after the show. And we'll do. So, guys, look forward to the Chris and Alan show coming out. The jar's coming out. Oh, that's that. We're doomed.
Oh, we're screwed. We're screwed.
That's that. She's getting our potions ready, and the candles are going now. Is it hocus pocus?
There will also be Bald and Bonkers shampoo. As you can see, it worked wonders for us.
I've still got some here. There's two there.
I have some right here.
Yeah. Well, you got like a comb over. You can comb over. You can get rid of them really long. Just comb
look like comb them over. Look like Homer Simpson.
He's all right.
Oh, hey, that was good.
Yeah, I know. So everybody in the chat, thank you for coming tonight, and everybody in the podcast, thank you so much for listening to this. Please go and check out the network.
Have I told you some of the latest numbers for that?
No, you have no.
Across all of our channels, Bald and Bonkers is hitting up into 60,000.
60,000 subscribers. My God. Imagine that.
Across all of our
Imagine
channels.
that.
So. And plus, if, say, we go to expand the TV network a little bit more, that'll add us another 90,000.
Yep. Drew is in the chat now with Cherry, and they're sitting there like that.
Oh, yeah. I know. Poor Sherry. She was all nervous when I told her she was going to be the first one to go live. That was only because I literally got it set up within 15 minutes before telling her.
Yep. So, ladies and gentlemen, look forward to the Chris and Alan show. It'll be out soon. And you can see Alan, handsome young man he is. You know, I've got a bet with him. I can find him a fair young maiden for him, you know.
You try to pick up him women. Oh my God!
No. I'm just thinking he's at that age now. He's at that age now. He needs to find someone, you know, to sit down and eat Stunning tea cakes with. You know he's going to chase me for this tomorrow. He's going to chase me and hunt me down. You know.
Alan, get video if you do. We'll make it into a new intro.
Yeah. But the murder mysteries.
We'll put it in the documentary.
Aye. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for coming tonight and have a fantastic week. We will see you on Saturday and Sunday.
Oh,
you know?
Wait. That just reminded me. Those of you who have been asking, the Smith family will be back very soon. They've been dealing with some... The family got COVID, so it was better they took care of themselves. Linda was hacking up along when we were talking earlier. So, Smith family are coming back. We got a new episode of Lost Magics. And we also have brand new shows also in the works as well. So,
just saying,
you're going in the freezer, not a jar.
She's putting me in the freezer.
Just remember, Chris. Just remember, Drew. Bodies smell like pork.
Yeah.
Have a good night.
1